She says she's in conversation with representatives of the Attorney General's office here. Brown Clark says it's the owner of the vehicle who's responsible for the parking tickets, even though it might not have been the owner that caused it. Youngstown firefighters responded to a fire at the utility contracting company on South Meridian Road near 4 Mile Run Road last night. Crews were able to contain the fire to the shop area. Nobody was hurt. The cause is under investigation. A Braceville Township man pleaded not guilty to charges including aggravated murder yesterday. Walter Tolles is charged in the murder of 27-year-old Marlon Smith. Tolles is being held without bond in the Trumbull County Jail. His pretrial date is February 27. A Warren man has been convicted by a Trumbull County jury of 9 felony charges stemming from a May 2018 raid on a Hamilton Street Southwest home where drugs and a firearm were found. 27-year-old Vincent Richardson Jr. faces up to 13 years in prison. A petition that seeks to void Salem City Council's recent decision to replace the City Income Tax Collection Office with the Regional Income Tax Agency, or RETA, has enough signatures. Salem is seeking to become the latest community in the county to switch to RETA, but opponents believe that decision should be up to voters, which is why they launched the petition drive to get the referendum on the November ballot. From the Power Chevrolet Buick GMC of Calcutta, Ohio newsroom, I'm Dave Price.
For your home or business, call Mazza's Heating and AC in Girard, 330-545-6063. Your factory authorized Bryant dealer. Now, the Storm Team 27 forecast.
Temperatures will continue to push into the middle 30s this afternoon with increasing clouds and gusty wind at times. Tonight, mostly cloudy, chance of a snow shower or flurry late, lows in the mid-20s. With your Storm Team 27 forecast, I'm meteorologist Paul Wetzel.
Keeps coming. You know what to do.
Hey, I'm gonna just rip this Band-Aid off. We need to break up. You're not good for me. I'm always sweaty and uncomfortable around you, and I'm not getting any benefits from this relationship. You're just a basic memory foam mattress. I deserve better. And before you ask, yes, there is someone else. I've been seeing the purple mattress online for a while now. Don't blame yourself. How can you compete with a bed that totally supports me, hugs my pressure points, and sleeps so effortlessly cool? Not to mention the 100-night trial and free shipping. Now that's a bed with benefits. It'll make me feel better than you ever could.
Break up with your old mattress and get with Purple today by texting PILLOW to 84888. Get in on major bundle savings with Purple's President's Day sale. Save up to $350 on a mattress and sleep bundle. Bundle up and save big when you text PILLOW to 84888. That's keyword PILLOW to 84888. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey there, Dan Rivers. You know, recently, selling your home has become a complicated process. Tune in and listen to the agent who guarantees to sell your home or she'll buy it. Kelly Warren, Sunday mornings, 8 a.m., 570 WKBN.
All right, welcome everybody. This is the Youngstown Computer Show, and I am Joe Danier, owner of Youngstown Computer, and we do this show on Saturday to talk about things that are happening in tech. We started doing this, over a decade ago, where we, take this audience and we set up a stage, give you guys a platform to be able to ask questions, and we take information and we have that information permeate to just about anybody who wants to learn or get better at this thing. I mean, this stuff that's in front of us is tech, really big, huge tools that could be used to change lives and make money, create whole industries. It's a game changer. And so if you shy away from it and you're intimidated by it and you don't embrace it, it takes off on you. And every day that goes by, you get further and further behind. So what we decided to do is we took the demographic, the oldest demographic in Youngstown, Ohio, and we opened up the floor to them in the most least intimidating way that we possibly could. We didn't use the big vocabulary. We boiled stuff down to make it easy to understand, and we let people know that they can ask simple questions and not to be ashamed, because we've all been there in everything that there is, whether it's a woodworking shop, mechanics, medicine and health. I mean, any industry you could think of. If you're on the outside and you don't understand the lingo, you're 100% beholden to other people. So we set up a way for you to ask your questions and put yourself out there a little bit, because what happens is there's a ton of other people in this audience that are in the same boat that you are. And so asking that simple question can not only help you out, but also can help out maybe the other people that are more timid that won't ask the question like you will. So you help out by participating in the program. You can call all program long 330-729-9977, or you can also text at 333-157. Now, I'll be here for the next hour and 40 minutes to answer all of those questions. We did the radio show set in for Dan Rivers this week, and we had a couple of tech questions that came through. There was one in particular that was asked. I went back and tried to find the text message, and I couldn't find it, so please retext me that question if you're out there listening here this morning. But my goal is to give you a reason and an excuse to dabble. I mean, this tech stuff is really fun. And it really opens yourself up. I mean, there was a couple people that, when they first learned how to use a dot matrix printer and they can print banners and greeting cards, their imagination started going crazy. And you think about that now, now that's kind of like basic stuff. But at the time, it was amazing because to make a great greeting card, you had to have, extreme artistic ability and be kind of crafty. But when it came to a computer, me, who has no artistic ability whatsoever, I'm an artist in Photoshop where I can actually create things that look halfway decent, and where I don't have the same eye for artistic value that my wife does and my son does. This technology thing aids me to the point where I can really get by, and it's not embarrassing when I produce something to be presented or on display. So I'm telling you that, I know of people right now that use these things, these computers, these magic boxes that are in front of us, and they use it as their living. They buy and resell things. They do advertising. They do travel agent work. I mean, there's just such a ton of things and opportunities that open up once you get a handle on what these things can do in front of you. And the next generation are already ready to go. They are already, tuned in. They get their content that way. It becomes, so that, a 2-year-old could pick up a tablet and know exactly what to do with it. It's so intuitive the way the technology is right now. When you got started and when it was early on, the stuff was cumbersome. It was a lot harder than it needed to be because it was still being invented as we were experiencing it. But, thank God we hung in there and all of us subsidized where the technology went. My first computer was a Commodore 64. I learned programming on that sucker and did all kinds of cool stuff with it. I really got my geek teeth with that Commodore. And then I graduated into a Packard Bell. My dad bought me a Packard Bell, and I just went crazy with it. It was a transition between Windows 3.1 and Windows 95. And so it shipped with Windows 3.1. So I had a good 6 months with Windows 3.1, and then I upgraded to Windows 95. So that's where I got my my start fix in the computer world. So I've been around a little while. 330-729-9977. Let's go to Jim. Jim, you're on the Youngstown Computer Show. How can I help you?
I got a question about Windows 7.
Sure.
I got an old computer. It's got Windows 7. Can I still use it, or is it just done?
Yeah, you could still use it. They're just stopping support for it. So they're not going to develop patches. They're not going to do updates. They're going to pretty much ignore what happens to it from this point. So every day that goes by, the people who write bad code and do viruses, they're going to get an advantage on Windows 7 the more time that goes by. So if you're going to use it, try not to use it on the internet. Maybe disconnect it and just use it as a standalone machine, and then you can use it until it breaks and dies.
Well, let me ask you this.
Sure.
I have Norton on it. My wife insists Norton isn't covered by it anymore.
Yeah, this is an operating system end of life. So even if you put antivirus on there, it's still not going to protect you from the vulnerabilities. It might protect you from the virus and the virus definitions, but not the vulnerabilities that are going to come along.
Okay, you answered my question.
All right.
You answered my wife's question, basically.
All right, Jim. Thank you so much for calling.
Thank you.
All
Have
right.
a good day.
You too. And let me tell you a little about what the difference is between those two things. The operating system is sort of like the user interface, the environment that you operate when you click and type and you see things and you have screens and all of the environment that you're working in. That's the operating system. And so when they stop developing the operating system, they have these trillions of lines of code, or at least billions of lines of code. And when they program this stuff, they not necessarily making mistakes, but there are lots of vulnerabilities that maybe haven't been discovered. So they have these testers that go through the lines of code and they try to break it and they try to break into it. And as they find these weaknesses, they basically fix it as time goes on. So, every couple weeks, Microsoft will release a patch that fixes all of those problems. And it's every operating system. I don't care if it's Apple, if it's Linux, if it's if it's any operating system, they're all going to have those same vulnerabilities. But Windows had market share. They had 80% of the computers that you saw had Microsoft Windows, and so they were this huge target for people that were going after them. So let me give you an example. We had a media server that had Windows 2000 on it, Windows 2000 workstation. When this thing end-of-lifed, I had a media server that was being hosted, and it end-of-lifed, and it was like 3 months after the operating system end-of-life. I was sitting in front of it doing a broadcast, and this was early on when I was doing a off-air, not terrestrial, but just a streaming shoutcast server, and I watched as somebody not only took over control of the mouse and keyboard, but they had complete operational control of the computer. And at the time, I thought I was pretty safe because I was behind firewalls and I had my router in protection and I had antivirus. But being that there was a vulnerability, that meant that somebody can remotely access the entire machine. And it was a big wake-up call for me because, I was, at the time, I thought I had a really good handle on what was secure and what wasn't. So anyway, to answer your question, the antivirus sits on top of the operating system. And once you start operating, like you open files and you send print jobs and you open up stuff over the network, the antivirus evaluates activity and then it compares it against things that it deems as safe or not safe. And it attempts to get in the way between when you're accessing stuff. And if it looks like it's interpreting something that's risky, it'll stop it and then sometimes prompt you and say, hey, this doesn't look right. You sure you want to do this? And it's meant as sort of a level of protection so that something doesn't have direct access to the operating system without something evaluating the activity. Because a lot of this stuff, I could write a virus right now, call it Joe.whatever, send it to you in email, and no antivirus protection is going to know that Joe.whatever was a virus, right? Because I just released it. Nobody had... there's no history with it. So if you get the first one that I send out, your antivirus isn't going to do anything. But there's some activities where if my program that you run once I email it to you starts doing stuff, it might not know me as the virus, but it knows the activity. If I start going into memory access and I start interacting with operating system files, then the activity is what will trigger it, and it could get in the way, slow it down, and stop it from damaging your system. So thanks for the phone call, 330-729-9977. Let's go to Mike next. Mike, you're on the Youngstown Computer Show. How can I help you?
Good afternoon, Joe. Pleasure having you on the radio during the weekdays. And I was the one, I think, that sent you that question about I'd like to have a program where I could convert files on my computer and burn them to DVDs. What's a good system that I could get a physical CD-ROM where I could put it from one machine to another, set the programs? Is there such a thing?
Now, are you copying like already CD material? Like, are you going from CD to CD, or are you assembling it from data and then putting it onto a CD?
I'm assembling it from data. I have a lot of videos on my phones that I've transferred to the computer. Some of them are in MP4 form, some are in MOV file forms, and some of the programs, the free ones that I've tried, they won't convert them properly. So,
okay. Now, I just
want to put them onto DVDs to watch.
Okay. So now, when you say watch it, you're going to be watching them from a computer, or are you looking to view them from like a DVD player?
DVD player.
Okay. All right. What I'll do is I will look up something modern, and I will make sure that when we come back from the next break, I'll have some examples. See, Windows can do this to a point, and we have a whole library of stuff that we used to do. I want to make sure that all of it's still good. So if you hang tight and wait for after the next break, I'll give you some titles that you can go through.
Okay, I appreciate it, Joe. Thank you very much.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you, Mike. Appreciate it. And it's been a while since all of us, were using DVDs and CDs as our preferred media. Flash drives and USB sticks are pretty popular at this point. And so if you have a DVD player, a DVD burner, there are some programs that will help you assemble it. Now, there's two modes that you can be in. One is a sort of a format that you're just taking data and you're just copying it and saving it. And your operating system can already do that. You don't need a third-party application to be able to do that. You basically copy-paste it to the, take the drive, put in a disk, and then you move those files or copy those files to the drive. And then you, when you eject it, it will copy or burn those to the actual disk. Now, if they're not going to be readable in a regular DVD player, they have to have another computer to be able to see those, see those files. But if you want to do a regular, if you want to make it a DVD readable, you're going to have something that publishes those media files out. So thank you for that call. Steve, I see you over in the chat room. Thank you, and good afternoon to you as well. Really great participation over even the rest of this earlier in the week. You got to have me Tuesday through Friday talking about other stuff other than just your regular tech stuff. It was a lot of fun for me, but we even answered some computer questions and some tech questions along the way. But I do appreciate everybody who supports us on this program, following me over there and being awesome as we trudge into territories that you don't usually hear me weighing in on. But I am a big advocate for all things, not just from the technology standpoint, but I'm a cheerleader for all kinds of innovations, whether it be city innovations, where I love the city of Youngstown and I want to see everybody prosper. Our youth and the inspiring kids to get on board and to develop things. I'd really like to see people, even TV and radio personalities, kids get a start on starting to do sort of very public role things. Everybody has the ability to get in broadcasting mode, turn on your camera, turn on a microphone, and set up a YouTube channel. In fact, my son and I, we're going to be putting a class together. We already have 2 sessions scheduled out. And this is for my kid is 10 years old. He's going to be the instructor. I'm going to be his assistant. And we're going to get 4 or 5 kids in each group, and we're going to teach how to prep a YouTube program, whiteboarding and scripting and bullet points and all of that kind of stuff, putting the show together. Then we're going to actually shoot some segments. We're going to do audio in those segments. We're going to do some basic editing in those segments, and we're going to do uploading. And so it's going to give kids a chance to take on and see what their personas that they can put together for on-air personalities. And it's going to be cool because you're going to get to see these kids just having a chance to put the spotlight on them and see where they can go with it. I'm super excited about it. And in fact, I think my kid will be a brilliant instructor. So I can't wait to see him in an element where he can take what he sees us do. Because that's one thing he gets to see behind the scenes when we put together all of our stuff. For years and years and years, he watches me duck out into the home studio, record audio, and record video. So he's been around it his entire life. He's even recorded a couple of commercials with me. So he sees the process of doing 96 takes where we're recording stuff to put together a 60-second 60-second cut of audio. It's behind the scenes is a lot more. You have a little bit more of appreciation for what went into creating content. But that's what's cool about the tech. The technical side is all of this computer equipment's all at our disposal. I mean, today you could go in your back room and do what we do, do your broadcasting, and see what you've got too. So this will be an opportunity for, I would say, like 7-8-year-olds all the way through 13 to see if they got the chops for putting together a YouTube channel of their own, and that includes gaming channels. So I mean, everybody's playing games, and kids are watching other kids play games. Never understand it, but it's a thing. Unboxing toys or just kids' take on things in politics and stuff like that. So anyway, 330-729-9977. I'll be taking your calls all program long. You can also text me at 333-1570. You're listening to the Youngstown Computer Show on 570 WKBN. I'll be back.
It was an act of evil.
Acts of kindness.
Congress must act.
At the top and 30 minutes past the hour.
Given the facts,
stay informed. The time to act.
Now is the time
we have to act.
On 570 WKBN.
From iHeartRadio, #1 for podcasts, Family Secrets.
Family secrets. It turns out that just about everyone has them, which accounts for the incredible outpouring of community and sharing of these stories that's happening as a result of my podcast, Family Secrets. I hope you'll join us for some incredible conversations about family, identity, and what happens to both when the secrets that have been kept from us finally come to light.
You want that new or used vehicle, but your credit score isn't exactly what you need? You work hard, you've always paid your bills. Who can you turn to? Hi, this is Tino Merlo from Toyota of Warren. Stop in and see me or my staff. Toyota of Warren's here to help, and we can get you financed.
At Tecovas, we make the finest handcrafted Western boots from the highest quality materials, sold only direct to you for a fair price. So why aren't you in boots? Picture it, walking into that next meeting in handsome, tough-looking boots, like you have your own soundtrack. While everyone else is in, what, loafers? You didn't kick the door down, but you look like you could have. Find your pair at tecovas.com. That's TECOVAS.com.
Dan Rivers for Window Nation, and to celebrate what is usually the coldest month of the year, Window Nation is extending its free window sale. Call right now, get 2 free with every 2 you buy. Any style, any size, any color, windows, free. You want more? Free. How about free financing for 12 full months and put no money down and make no payments for a year? Don't worry about freezing when having your new windows installed, as they work room to room during the install process, keeping your home warm. Window Nation professionals have installed over 200,000 windows just last year alone, 99.5% of them requiring no follow-up service. Free February doesn't stop there. Your heating bill will be free until your new windows are installed with a house full of windows. So celebrate free February at Window Nation. Get 2 free windows with every 2 you buy. No limit, plus no down payment, no payments, no interest until 2021, and no gas bill. It's free money. You've got nothing to lose and nothing to pay for 1 full year. It's free. 866-90-NATION, 866-90-NATION. Or go to windownation.com and tell them Dan Rivers told you to do so.
All right, welcome back, everybody. This is the Youngstown Computer Show. I am Joe Danier, owner of Youngstown Computer, and this is your Saturday show where we get to talk about things that are happening in the tech world. So appreciate you joining me out there. If you have any questions or need a little insight into anything, give me a call, 330-729-9977. I just looked up, had a call before about authoring DVDs or CD burning. And it looks like Nero is still the go-to. You might also want to check if your computer shipped with a DVD burner. Sometimes they will give you licensed software that does the DVD burning. This I'm looking at here, Nero. It looks like it's a free trial. Don't know if there's any limitations on it. I don't think I've ever paid for a copy of Nero. I think it's always come free with a DVD burner. But there is a second one here where there's one called Free DVD Burner, and there's another one called Tiny Burner. But I bet you that if you look around a little bit on trusted sites, you might be able to find a freebie that will let you do the same thing. But if you can get a copy of Nero, or you can either download it and do the free to try thing, that would be my recommendation, because I think it does a pretty good job of being authoring DVDs. It's wizard driven, so it's pretty easy to use. So 330-729-9977. Let's go to Gary. Gary, you're on the Youngstown Computer Show. How can I help you?
Yeah, I saw you I heard you were just talking about YouTube.
Yeah.
And I figured I'd call in just because I make my primary living off of YouTube. And I'm sure some of your listeners may be interested in, how much money can you actually make? And, of course, there's a lot of factors involved with that. But I teach people how to design and code, mainly what's called UI and UX design, as well as front-end development, which is like HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. But I recently just passed 500,000 subscribers.
Nice.
And I've been doing this for several years. Actually, my first video was uploaded in 2010, but I took it seriously back in 2014. And so I have about 700 videos I've uploaded. And right now for the ads, those annoying ads that you have to hit to skip, like most people see on a lot of YouTube videos, or channels rather, that makes me around, at the moment, it's around $6,000 a month.
That's really good. That's amazing.
Yeah, but again, that all depends on what niche you're in. So for me, advertisers have a lot of money to spend in what I teach, because there's web hosting companies, so they determine how much you're paid based on cost per 1,000 views, or CPM is the acronym. And so for every 1,000 views, you get paid a certain amount. If you have a gaming channel, you might only get $1 per 1,000 views, but for me, it's up to around $17 or $18. Then also, if you get to a certain size, you get sponsorships, of course, and so I do that as well. So, yeah, it does really well, but it's one of those things. I always tell people who ever want to start a YouTube channel, don't expect to make money within the first year or two. Don't have hardly any expectations. You have to really do it just for the love of it initially. But if you stick with it, consistency is the key, which is applicable to almost anything in life if you want to be successful. But for YouTube especially, you just have to do it for the love of it. And eventually, if you can upload at least once a week, for a year or two, you really should be able to start to make grounds.
Now, I got a question for you. A lot of complaints from content creators about the changes in how they monetize this kind of stuff. As soon as you get your studio set up in your content, then the way that they reward the content creators changes, and now you got to change your whole thing. Has that happened to you? Any experience with that?
Well, it depends on the niche. Like, for instance, there was a lot of, like, if there's channels that are geared towards children, they recently got decimated. There were channels out there with millions of subscribers who were making very good money, like probably $30,000-$40,000 a month, who just saw their earnings just like dissipate because of a certain law called COPPA. I forget what the acronym stands for, but they were recently hurt really bad. But another recent change that they had was that and I think this is about a year or two ago, any channel with less than 1,000 subscribers and/or I think it was 4,000 hours of watch time, you weren't eligible to be monetized, so you couldn't make money. So that's still the case. So if you start a YouTube channel and you want to make money, you need to reach 1,000 subscribers or an accumulated total. I think 4,000 watch hours. It's either 4,000 or 40,000. I forget which. And so, of course, that didn't affect me because I already reached those numbers. So that was one of the things that people were really upset in the YouTube community, the really smaller channels. But here's the thing. If you have less than 1,000 subscribers and less than that much watch time, you weren't making much money anyways. I would be surprised to hear if you're making $15, $20 a month anyways. So,
all right, Garrett, can you hang tight with me through this break? I want to talk to you a little bit more about this.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, awesome. All right, we're going to take a break. We're going to talk some more with Gary about creating a YouTube channel. Lots of people in this audience have interest in creating YouTube channels, so it's good stuff here. So you're listening to the Youngstown Computer Show on 570 WKBN. You can call 330-729-9977. We'll be right back after this break.
The unemployment rate is lower than it's been in decades. That means if you're trying to hire a new employee, they probably already have a job, which means you need to try reaching them in a different way. That's where iHeartMedia comes in. Every week, our radio stations reach 93% of the U.S., most likely when they're on their commute or already at work. So start connecting with the qualified candidates you've been looking for on AM/FM radio. Visit iHeartWorks.com. That's iHeartWorks.com.
Here's some of the stories we're following today. The city of Youngstown is looking at new ways to collect unpaid parking fees over $100 from tax returns. Firefighters in Youngstown responded to a fire at the utility contracting company last night on South Meridian Road. A Braceville Township man pleaded not guilty to charges including aggravated murder. A Warren man's been convicted by a Trumbull County jury of 9 felony charges from a May 2018 raid at a Hamilton Street Southwest home. And a petition that seeks to void Salem City Council's recent decision to replace the city income tax collection office with RETA has enough signatures. We'll have more on these coming up at the top of the hour. From the Columbiana Cadillac Buick Chevrolet Newsroom, drivecolumbiana.com, I'm Dave Price.
Our next update at 2. From the O'Charley's Digital Studios. $9.99 menu, 9 great meals, 1 great price. O'Charley's. For your home or business, call Mazza's Heating and AC in Girard, 330-545-6063. Your factory authorized Bryant dealer. Now, the Storm Team 27 forecast.
Temperatures will continue to push into the middle 30s this afternoon with increasing clouds and gusty wind at times. Tonight, mostly cloudy, chance of a snow shower or flurry late, lows in the mid-20s. With your Storm Team 27 forecast, I'm meteorologist Paul Wetzel.
Quiet, comfort, and affordability. The most important things when choosing a place to live. Westchester Square Apartments offers something to fit every need and budget. 2-bedroom, 1-bedroom, and studio apartments. They rent apartments, but they sell convenience. You can find luxury living at Westchester Executive Apartments, 1,200 square feet of upscale living with carports, or independent senior living at Westchester Commons, strategically located in the center of Austintown, right next to Route 11. For the perfect apartment, call 330-799-5758. Come and be a good neighbor in a community of good neighbors. Westchester Square Apartments, Austintown.
Hi, this is Dan Rivers. Are you recently retired or an older adult looking for a vibrant senior community? You'll feel right at home at Copeland Oaks. Residents can relax and enjoy with a carefree lifestyle. And they have a continuum of care that ensures that residents are comfortable and safe no matter how their needs change. Proud to announce, by the way, on-site skilled nursing facility Crandall Medical Center recently named Ohio's #3 nursing home. Call now for your personal tour and ask how you can receive a free month's rent. 330-938-6126.
Message and data rates may apply. Earning your degree from one of the top business schools in the country might sound impossible to fit into your workload. But what if there were a business degree that advanced your career skills and gave you access to world-renowned faculty, leaders, and mentors all on your schedule? One that opened doors to some of the most influential CEOs, tech companies, law firms, entrepreneurs, and thought leaders. And what if you could earn that degree in as little as 16 months, 100% online? Find out more. Text RESULT to 79645. Start on the path to earning your MBA or Business Analytics Master's degree online from the W.P. Carey School of Business at Arizona State University today. Learn more about the graduate programs from the top-ranked W.P. Carey School of Business at Arizona State University, offered 100% online. Text RESULT to 79645. That's RESULT to 79645.
All right, welcome back, everybody. This is the Youngstown Computer Show, and we were just talking with Gary, who is making quite a good living off of YouTube production and channel and media content creation. Gary, you back?
Yeah.
Okay, I have a quick question for you. So when we're talking about these channels that are just getting started, so you can't really look to make a bunch of money right off the get-go because you just don't have the following. Now, did you go the route of grassroots promotion to get people to your channel, or did you pay for most of it? What was your route?
Well, back when I first uploaded in 2010, I did my first video. I was just looking at it recently. Was how to create a tattoo design in Photoshop, and I uploaded and I forgot about it. A couple years later, I uploaded maybe about 10 more videos just on random design topics. And what was really crazy is I saw that they were naturally getting a lot of views in and of themselves, and so I didn't do any promotion. I think probably back then, there weren't many people doing YouTube content anyhow on these topics, so the traffic naturally came, and it was generated from Google search and also YouTube search. Just recently, I started another channel on guitar because that's another interest I have. And what I would suggest is, first of all, I had somebody ask me recently. They said, "I want to start a YouTube channel." I said, "Well, what's the topic going to be about?" And they said, "I don't know, just about my family and my life and stuff." And I said, "Well, ideally, you try to go niche. You try to have a topic. Your topic could be your personality if you have a great personality, but most of us don't. So it helps to have a specific topic to focus on. So if you have a topic, that means then you can find certain websites and other avenues, social media, for instance, from which you can promote your YouTube videos and your new YouTube channel. So, for instance, if you're interested in guitar, if you ever heard Reddit.com, that's one of the social media sites where they tackle specific topics. Sometimes they'll let you post your YouTube video there. Of course, you'll want to post your YouTube videos, each one that you produce on your Facebook, in your Twitter, and all of that. But really, you have to kind of plan your videos and the topic of each video, and try to think in terms of what are people searching for. Sorry, my daughter's getting out of the car. Go ahead, Natalie.
No, that's all right.
Anyhow, so it's like you need to have a topic in each video. Your YouTube channel needs to be specific about some type of topic, like woodworking or guitar or teaching people how to design or code or gaming. And then each video needs to be ideally anywhere between 5 to 20 minutes long. Sometimes you can go real short and real long, but on average, what I find to be is like you want to get to around 10 minutes. Because if you get to the 10-minute mark, you can add multiple ads in there on your own. And so, yeah, in terms of marketing and trying to get that initial push, you have to try to create engaging content that people are going to watch. Because YouTube, they'll recommend your video as long as it has good engagement. So engagement is multiple factors. It's like, for instance, what's the watch time? How long are people watching your video? For me, it's around 5 minutes right now. Even if I make like a 30-minute video, sometimes it's like 5 or 6 minutes. Because to some people, they realize they don't want to watch this, they just drop off. Sometimes they'll scrub through and they'll just watch the middle part or whatever. So it ends up being 5 minutes, which is pretty decent. So engagement and watch time, that's very important. Also, your comments. Are people actually commenting? Are they liking and disliking? And it doesn't even matter if people dislike your videos. It's still seen as engagement and it's controversial, so they may push it anyways.
Oh, nice. I didn't realize that. I thought a dislike would go against you somehow.
I mean, the good thing, like for me, I'm probably like a 97% like ratio.
Okay.
Like to dislike, so.
All right. Gary, that's awesome. Any other nuggets for someone who might be first getting started with their channel? Anything they can do or take into it?
I just wrote an article about this, but I mean, just off the top of my head, be consistent. You just have to upload once a week and do it for a year or two. Sorry, my daughter's crying.
No, that's all right. No problem. Now, if somebody wants to check out your channel, where would they head?
Just go to YouTube and type Design Course.
Design.
All one word. Yep.
Okay, Gary, thank you for spending some time with us this afternoon. We really appreciate it.
All right, thanks.
All right, thank you, Gary. 330-729-9977. Let's go to Carl next. Carl, you're on the Youngstown Computer Show. How can I help you?
Hi there.
Hi.
I just have a question.
Sure.
Do you know of a computer program available that will do closed captioning as you're recording a television program on DVDs or USB?
You mean like assemble it, will interpret the voice and then convert it to text?
Yeah, interpret the words and type them out at the same time.
Interesting. No, I don't know of any, but I can definitely look it up and see if there's anything. I'm sure there is at this point. In fact, the content creator that we were just talking about, that was one of the questions I was going to ask him, if having the closed captioning, because you have to do your own when you do YouTube videos, but I'm wondering if there's a program that can convert that to help everybody get the closed captioning on those videos. So yeah, I'll look it up over the next break.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you, Carl. Appreciate it. 330-729-9977. You can also text at 333-1570. And just to kind of finish off that the class that my son is going to be teaching, he's going to do 2 sessions. We haven't really picked a date out, but we have first session of 5 kids. Second session has 4 kids, so they get 1 more in the second session. And we'll keep creating sessions as we get more and more kids committed that want to create the channel. And then, just from the parent standpoint, when you start thinking audio and video, you start thinking of, you got to set up a studio, and there's got a lot of money, involved in getting set up. I can almost guarantee you that you probably have all the equipment that's necessary to be able to do this, at least to a certain level. The camera that I use for our streaming, this is a $60 to $70 webcam that's on a tripod. Anybody can have access to it. You can go down to Best Buy right now or Amazon and grab one. And it's USB, plugs into just about any computer. So your laptop, your desktop, you can plug it into that sucker, and now you've got a video feed. Sound cards are typically built into every machine. So if you have some kind of microphone, headset mic, boom microphone, even those USB mics that they make, I mean, pretty much every computer has one built in now too. So it might not be super crisp and clear audio, but at least will give you a chance to get started. And my last caller or the previous caller about the YouTube content, getting things going in the beginning and creating and practicing your thing is super crucial. I mean, if you look back at when I started doing Shoutcast, back when we were just doing talk radio, we were talking politics, some of those those early shows were so cringy because of how poor your talents are at that point. You just had no clue what you were doing, but the longer you did it, the more often you did it, the better you got at it. And I can't say that, even though we've been doing this for a decade, I can't say that I'm completely polished at even this. I'm as authentic as you can possibly get. There's not much that gets rehearsed going into these programs, but the more you do this stuff, the more comfortable and confident you get getting behind a microphone. And sometimes that's all it takes is, we'll put a microphone in front of my kid often enough, and he can record often enough that he gets, he stops thinking about it, becomes second nature. And sometimes that's the key, is just doing it for a long enough period of time. So it's almost a blessing that right away when you start creating YouTube content that people aren't paying attention to you, because it's probably really awful in the beginning. And it's probably something that once you do get practiced at it, you're going to want to hide those videos anyway. So it's a good idea if you're going to get started. Just know that the limited audience of grandma, grandpa, and a couple of close family friends could give you that soft criticisms in the beginning to keep you in the game. Pretty important. 330-729-9977. Let's go to Vic. Vic, you're on the Youngstown Computer Show. How can I help you?
Yes, I heard some technology. Someone asked me about police departments. They may have a listening device that can detect a gunshot and pinpoint it where it's coming from. Do you know anything about that? I haven't heard anything about it. I'm into technology, and somebody asked me about it. He's a retired police officer, and I said I said that would be above ground sonar, and I just said I don't think they have anything like that. But in today's technology, they certainly could.
A couple,
I just wonder if you heard anything.
Yeah, a couple years ago, they basically assembled it. There's basically these big listening antennas. I don't even know what the technology behind them are, but they put them on poles, and if they hear a frequency, they can pinpoint the direction. They can use the different antennas to find out with pretty good accuracy where the gunshot originated from. I don't know much about it beyond that, though.
Oh, so that it does exist.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So police departments are getting them or have them now, maybe.
City of Youngstown has them. So they did one the other day where there was a gunshot and they used it to pinpoint where it came from.
No kidding.
Yep.
Wow. Okay. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. Thanks, Vic. Appreciate you being out there. And yeah, I mean, that's, again, I don't know much about the technology. I've just heard them reference it a couple times, and apparently it works pretty well. I know it was really pricey when it first came into town, but when it comes to being able to, someone just goes out and starts shooting a gun, I mean, that gets relayed to 911, and you can have some officers check it out to make sure that it's not anything. I mean, I think that's an amazing piece of technology. All right, 330-729-9977. You can also text at 330-333-1570. Here's I went on vacation last weekend, and it's, I picked my favorite flavor of vacation is anywhere where I could not have cell phone reception. And it's crazy as a technical guy, as a guy that loves technology, to be able to bow out and not be accessible is amazing. And I'm telling you, I took my watch off, and there was no buzzing, and there was no beeping, and there was no ringing, and there wasn't me constantly checking my phone. There was no internet to be had. It was out of service no matter where I was. There was a little bit of calmness that came along with that. And I didn't even really notice how bad it was until I got back into, reception area, and I put my watch back on, and it started, getting my attention with the haptics, and the phone started going. And there's a whole lot of stresses that get added to your day when you get notifications. And we want to be notified when something's happening, but think of all of the snap bothers and the cortisol that goes through your bloodstream when all day long something is bothering you and vying for your attention. And so I really do think that for the health of most people, bowing out every once in a while and getting away from technology is a good thing. I mean, and we're talking, kids every once in a while saying, hey, you know what? Hey, screen time. I don't mind it so much. I want my kid to be super good at being able to navigate through technology and use it. The content that he can be exposed to expand his experiences and his interests are astounding. I don't want to hide any of that from him. But there is a period of time where you have to get physical things in front of you and get practiced at things that are other than digital. And I'm just telling you, just coming to rest after being away from technology for a little bit was really healthy. I felt it afterwards that it was much needed. So whether that be camping or somewhere in the middle of the ocean or just not being able, just hiding the technology for a weekend, might make all of the difference. So that's just my personal experience and something that I valued coming out of this quick break last weekend. 330-729-9977. Let's go to Walt next. Walt, you're on the Youngstown Computer Show. How can I help you?
How you doing, Joe?
Good.
I've taught programs in law enforcement, and I made a model, and I want you to just take a piece of paper. I'll walk you through it real fast. On the top of the paper, you write the word goals, and then underneath it, you draw a circle, and you have an up and down line and a horizontal line, and you cut that pie into 4 pieces.
Okay.
The first piece on the top right is knowledge. The next one below it is confidence. The next one to the left is persistence. And the one above it is success. Okay?
Okay, got it.
Okay, so what it is, you get a little bit of knowledge, something you're interested in, and you have some knowledge about it. And now you have some confidence that you can reach the goal that you have. And you are persistent, and bam, success happens. And this turns into a snowball that you can't stop, okay? Because you just got success, which gave you more knowledge, which gave you more confidence, which gives you more persistence, which gives you more success, and this sucker just goes out of control.
That's beautiful. I love it.
I lived my career, and I actually made that model for me, and I ended up teaching at the Highway Patrol Academy, and I put it on the board, and trust me, if you do that, you will reach that goal.
Yeah, it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy where you get that momentum going in that direction, and then the more successes you
can't
have.
Stop it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
You can't stop it. And the other thing is with those gunshots in Youngstown, I believe it's almost like a triangulation. You'll have like 3 towers. They'll pick it up. Each one knows the intensity, and that way they can give it the value of how far this way, how far away, and it'll bring you in pretty much to pinpoint the center.
All right. Walt, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
See you, buddy.
All right, take care. Have a good weekend. That's pretty awesome. And I love self-development and helping people find that confidence and those strengths. I always look at our youth, and I know that there's so much genius lying in the minds of those of our kids, and we're just bringing that out or giving the ability to bring that out and have kids feel a little bit of those same 4 things where you give them some nuggets of knowledge of things that they don't maybe deserve or aren't even ready for. And then, as he said, taking through the whole thing where you give them knowledge and let them start doing stuff, they get some confidence. Because sometimes just being a little different and getting involved in different things, you put a kid in front of a machine that, their friends aren't or their neighbors aren't using, lets them excel in things that are not just your typical sports and regular stuff. It gives them the ability to have something that's theirs. And I think honestly, what that YouTube creator we were talking to, Gary, said that you have to find your niche, the things that you're different. You don't want to just go and do the same thing that everybody else is doing. There's too much noise by just doing the same thing everybody else is doing. So if you want to do an unboxing, you see someone having success unboxing toys, you don't want to go and do exactly what somebody else is doing. That's already been done. But giving people the ability to forge into territories that maybe there are not a lot of people giving attention to. And it's different and it's undervalued and it's non-polished, and let them invent it. And so thanks. I appreciate that last caller, because that's super important. And I love the fact that people dedicate their time in helping others realize their potentials. And there's complete industries involved in helping people do that. But super important. People tend to get lost in a technical world because everything's happened so fast. And with huge execution to teach patience and persistence, it's an amazing lesson. So thanks again for that phone call. Joseph, I see you out there. When we come back from this break, I'll make sure that we get right to the phones. 330-729-9977. You can also text at 333-1570. You're listening to the Youngstown Computer Show on 570 WKBN. I'll be back.
A best-in-class approach. That is what sets Refresh Dental apart. Best-in-class means we have the talent, expertise, and also the compassion needed to deliver the care everyone deserves. Refresh Dental, changing the dental experience, one patient at a time. Visit GoRefreshDental.com to learn more.
Tune in Sunday at 7 a.m. for The Chris McKay Show. We all have some kind of stress, and this stress takes a huge toll on your body. Guest Dr. Pincus, a world-renowned specialist, talks about how stress affects your body. Tune in this Sunday at 7 a.m. to learn more about this fascinating topic.
This is Michael David from Seattle. I'm 51 years old, and 6 months ago, I started taking Andro 400 to increase my testosterone. Since then, I've lost 35 pounds of fat, and my waist went from size 38 to size 32. I have more energy, and I look and feel 20 years younger. And now my wife tells me I have to take Andro 400.
Hi, this is Ron Johnson from Utah. After 10 weeks of taking Andro 400, I lost 13 pounds, and my waist went from 36 to 33. That was 8 years ago. I continue to take Andro 400, and I've maintained my weight at 172. Gained muscle and energy. I'm 63 now and feel better than I have in 30 years.
Andro 400, the natural way to increase testosterone, lose belly fat, gain energy, and feel great. Try Andro 400, the safe, effective, affordable way to boost your testosterone. Go to andro400.com or call 888-400-0435. 888-400-0435.
The Rolling Stones 2020 tour is ready to roll. Well, almost. They need one more crew member if you're up for it. The perks include awesome seats and access to hang with Mick and Keith before the show. Then,
Ladies and gentlemen, the Rolling Stones!
you'll introduce the band as they hit the stage. And for a job well done, the band will send you home with a signed official crew jacket. To be in the running to join the crew on tour, just listen to Rolling Stones Radio on iHeartRadio.
All right, welcome back, everybody. This is the Youngstown Computer Show. I'm Joe Danier, owner of Youngstown Computer, and let me go right off to Joseph here before he's been waiting a little while. Joseph, you're on the Youngstown Computer Show. How can I help you?
Hey, Joe, just wanted to pitch in. By the way, I'm about an hour, 15 minutes southeast of Pittsburgh, and I can pick you up well on the radio, WKBN.
Nice.
Just on the caller before, when I catch local Pittsburgh news stations, they call it sound spotter technology whenever they talk about gunshots fired. So if anybody was interested in that, yeah, sound spotter technology. And just wanted to add, Joe, I find you are more informative and interesting than any of the national technology radio shows that are broadcast on weekends. You don't fill with, just fluff and filler that, you don't get information out of. You're great. Your persona's great and your information's great. So I catch you whenever I can. So just wanted to add that.
Oh, thank you so much. That's very kind of you.
Okay. Take care, Joe.
All right. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Glad to have all you listeners out there. And what's cool is when I'm out in public and I run across somebody who's listened to the program, one of my favorite things to hear is that somebody started listening, never called, but silently picked up information over a long period of time and became a better user because of it. That's my favorite because I get to impact people. I get to, most of us in our technical field, we take most of what we know for granted. When you have some people who would, pay big money to have even a sliver of what the experiences that we've had. So I try to picture myself, and if I had, someone sitting in front of me, like I call them light bulb moments. Whenever I teach a class, I want to make sure that every couple statements that I give something away that somebody's gets a light bulb moment. Like, oh, I was always wondering how that worked. Because that's the stuff that people end up remembering, and they can go home and use it. So back in the day when I first started in this industry, I was an instructor where we would teach things like Microsoft Access or Word, Excel, ACT, stuff like that. Really generic, bland, not fun type of stuff to learn. That was my interest. So I had a book that would go right through these different modules, right? It would be by the book. But I'd make sure every module, I'd put my own 2 cents in there. And what do you know? The people that listened or the people that took the classes liked my additives better than the bland, yucky, just regular stuff. And I always, that was, like I said, that was my favorite part, is that I get to help people every day of my stinking life. And it just so happened that I figured out a way to make a living doing it. But I invented this program for that purpose. There were always going to be people that wanted to hire me to come out and fix their problems, and some of them wanted to know how to do it, and some of them didn't want to know how to do it, but there was always a segment that maybe couldn't hire me to come fix their problems. So when they come and call my office and say, "Hey, Youngstown Computer, can you fix my, can you help me, fix my thing?" We said, "Hey, let's do it publicly in front of everybody." And that way, not only can I help you, but I can help out all the other people that might be, in that same boat. Because I'm telling you, the struggles, it's like the same 20 things that I do over and over and over again. You change some of the nouns and verbs, but it's pretty much the same. And you learn the theory and logic when you learn about this stuff. And as it evolves, it's still the same theory and logic. It just looks a little different and maybe behaves a little bit better, gets a little bit more automated, but it gives you a little bit better insight. So I really appreciate that call, not only for the compliments of me, but that is as important as it gets for why we sacrifice the time on these weekends, to do this, because you as the public, you need this information. And just like I said yesterday, the people who want me least need me the most, and that's why we do this. We picked the hardest demographic to conquer, the older group of senior citizens, the people who did not grow up with this stuff, people that had to force, in order to get involved in it, you had to force it. It wasn't everywhere around you. So the latest in life, the later in life you wait and to get involved in this stuff, the harder it is to pick up, because you get frustrated super easy, and you could just do it easier with paper and all of that kind of stuff. I hear it every day. So what Joseph said is really super important to me. Because it defines the entire reason why we started doing this. I picture certain people early on that was so frustrated, and we were just able to take a little bit of their frustration away. Once they got moving and some momentum behind them, they opened up lots of worlds in the tech industry. So Joseph, thank you so much for calling. I appreciate taking your time out of the day to really make mine. So Amir, I see you out there. We'll come and take your call as soon as we come back from this break. You're listening to the Youngstown Computer Show on 570 WKBN. I'll be right back.
Check out the dealer with over 600 new and used Ford trucks on the ground. Fairway Ford in Canfield. See us at fairwayfordohio.com or 330-533-FORD. Fairway, that's the way we do business.
Hey, it's Lindsay Watts from the Mixed Morning Show, and I personally know how watching a loved one struggle with memory loss is not only emotionally difficult, but it can be physically and mentally draining as well. Windsor House at Armstrong Memory Care Assisted Living is Trumbull County's only dedicated memory care assisted living. They have a staff that is specially trained to care for your loved one, with special security and safety precautions, administering of medications, and 3 fresh meals a day that helped your loved one keep a routine. To see their gorgeous facility and learn more, visit their website at ArmstrongMemoryCareAL.com.
At Windsor House, we're more than a house, we're a home.
This is News Radio 570 WKBN, Youngstown, on AM and thousands of devices, including Amazon Echo, Google Home, and Sonos. With our iHeartRadio app, 570 WKBN, Youngstown. It's 2 o'clock.
From ABC News, I'm Brian Clark. The road to the White House today running through a Las Vegas barber shop.
Have you always wanted to be a barber? What made you think about it?
Former Vice President Joe Biden talking to students training for state licensing exams. Early voting begins today in Nevada's Democratic caucus, and ABC's Rachel Scott in Las Vegas says labor will play a role.
Nevada has a strong union presence, and so the candidates have been trying to make their appeal not only to minority voters, but also to union workers. And a little bit of unpredictability surrounding this race and a little bit of uncertainty. One of the major unions here, the Culinary Union, has decided to not endorse a candidate. They represent more than 60,000 hospitality workers. So now the candidates are pushing forward without that added boost.
President Trump spending the weekend in South Florida. Tomorrow, he'll attend NASCAR's Daytona 500. Members of his administration oversees the Munich Security Conference and urging countries not to allow Chinese company Huawei access to their information infrastructure. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo says
Huawei and other Chinese state-backed tech companies are Trojan horses for Chinese intelligence.
China has denied those allegations. Health officials in China continuing their push to develop treatments and vaccines for the coronavirus. Officials say they're in the 3rd phase of clinical trials for some treatment options. And when it comes to a vaccine,
a lot of steps are being conducted in parallel in order to accelerate the availability of this vaccine.
More than 66,000 confirmed cases in China, 285 on board a cruise ship docked in quarantine off Japan. The U.S. offering a charter flight for the approximately 300 Americans on board. Mississippi's governors declared a state of emergency due to heavy rain that's expected to cause flooding along the Pearl River. You're listening to ABC News.
The city of Youngstown is looking at new ways to collect unpaid parking fees over $100 from tax returns. Youngstown Clerk of Court Sarah Brown Clark says she's going after state income tax to try to get some offenders to pay their bills. Revenue from parking tickets went from $102,000 in 2018 to $188,000 in 2019. That's an increase of 54%. She says she's in conversation with representatives of the Attorney General's office here. Brown Clark says it's the owner of the vehicle who's responsible for the parking tickets, even though it might not have been the owner that caused it. Youngstown firefighters responded to a fire at the utility contracting company on South Meridian Road near 4 Mile Run Road last night. Crews were able to contain the fire to the shop area. Nobody was hurt. The cause is under investigation. A Braceville Township man pleaded not guilty to charges including aggravated murder yesterday. Walter Tolles is charged in the murder of 27-year-old Marlon Smith. Tolles is being held without bond in the Trumbull County Jail. His pretrial date is February 27. A Warren man has been convicted by a Trumbull County jury of 9 felony charges stemming from a May 2018 raid on a Hamilton Street Southwest home where drugs and a firearm were found. 27-year-old Vincent Richardson Jr. faces up to 13 years in prison. A petition that seeks to void Salem City Council's recent decision to replace the City Income Tax Collection Office with the Regional Income Tax Agency, or RITA, has enough signatures. Salem is seeking to become the latest community in the county to switch to RITA, but opponents believe that decision should be up to voters, which is why they launched the petition drive to get the referendum on the November ballot. From the Columbiana Cadillac Buick Chevrolet Newsroom, drivecolumbiana.com, I'm Dave Price.
For your home or business, call Mazza's Heating and AC in Girard, 330-545-6063. Your factory authorized Bryant dealer. Now, the Storm Team 27 forecast.
Temperatures will continue to push into the middle 30s this afternoon with increasing clouds and gusty wind at times. Tonight, mostly cloudy, chance of a snow shower or flurry late, lows in the mid-20s. With your Storm Team 27 forecast, I'm meteorologist Paul Wetzel.
Message and data rates may apply. Earning your degree from one of the top business schools in the country might sound impossible to fit into your workload. But what if there were a business degree that advanced your career skills and gave you access to world-renowned faculty, leaders, and mentors all on your schedule? One that opened doors to some of the most influential CEOs, tech companies, law firms, entrepreneurs, and thought leaders. And what if you could earn that degree in as little as 16 months, 100% online? Find out more. Text OFFER to 79645. Start on the path to earning your MBA or Business Analytics Master's degree online from the W.P. Carey School of Business at Arizona State University today. Learn more about the graduate programs from the top-ranked W.P. Carey School of Business at Arizona State University, offered 100% online. Text OFFER to 79645. That's OFFER to 79645.
All right, welcome back, everybody. This is the Youngstown Computer Show. I am Joe Danier, owner of Youngstown Computer, and this is your Saturday show. We get to talk about things that are happening in the tech industry, also have interest in science and physics and all that kind of stuff. So wide open if you have any questions, want to talk anything that's happening, 330-729-9977. Let's go to Amir next. Amir, you're on the Youngstown Computer Show. How can I help you?
Hey, how are you today?
Good.
I no longer live in the city of Youngstown, but I was happy to hear that shooter detection, technology is being used to, fight crime and improve conditions in the city. I don't know when it was, brought over into the civilian sector, but I do know that probably the first actual real world field test of this technology was in Bosnia. And it's been used in several urban theaters since then, because I know it was used in Bosnia, and I know it was used in, Mogadishu, but, we had a serious problem, with sniper activity, against U.S. military forces and UN forces in Bosnia. And they brought this technology in, and at that time, they had to actually set up manned portable shelters to monitor the equipment and, put up the microphones and antennas to get the proper triangulation. But it made significant strides in reducing the number of, U.S. And UN casualties due to sniper fire. So, I'm aware now that, they've used, AI and different other types of automation, to improve the system. So, I'm glad to see that Youngstown, has something like that, and I hope that the support exists in the technology, sector in the city to continue to support it and expand the system, and follow up with the necessary, maintenance, because I think it would be a really good thing, for the city, and maybe we can, begin to reclaim some of these dilapidated neighborhoods.
Amen. And they are microphones. So basically, microphones feed into computer systems, and then those computer systems triangulate like almost GPS does.
Yes. And they've like I said, they've added AI automation to it, and they've even changed the GPS algorithm so they can get because previously the civilian sector used the CA code for GPS, and the military used the P code. And I think under the P code, you could get a location down to, I think, about a 1 meter variance under the military system. So I think they've made that available to civilian use, so they can better pinpoint exactly where shots are coming from.
Wow, that's so accurate. Still, that's amazing. All right, Amir, thank you. Go ahead.
It's just really about making sure that local law enforcement, has the right software, and they have the right application. I do know that for some of the systems, it depends on whether they're using, ShotSpotter or different, because there's several different systems out now. But they also have, a mobile app that law enforcement can download onto their phone. My youngest son is a police officer in Detroit. I know they have access, to that technology, and it increases the response time for law enforcement to the scene of an incident. So I hope Youngstown, continues to, expand, and that they can get the, additional training they need, for officers to know, how to use the system, and to, again, like I said, increase the, response time so we can, reduce the number of incidents and apprehend some of these suspects.
Absolutely. Okay, Amir, thank you so much. Appreciate the information. Super important. I'm glad that we're even doing more integration of technologies to make communities safer. So great information. Thank you, Amir. 330-729-9977. Let's go to Doris next. Doris, you're on the Youngstown Computer Show. How can I help you?
Oh, well, thank you.
Sure.
I don't know anything about computers, but I do know that I have a room full of computers and information. I have TV, Apples, I have speakers, printers, all those things. My husband passed away, and it's just been a free-for-all for anybody that comes down there and sees something they might want. But what I would like somebody to come to my house and pick up the unplugged lines and identify them, what they are, maybe connect them. I have Spectrum TV down there. It's been unplugged for almost 5 months. And all the, every plug, anything that lighted up, I pulled the plug out. But I would like to have things put together again, speakers, and so forth and so on. Could I find something like that through you?
Yeah, we have residential services. Rich is the guy that manages the residential service. Let me give you this number. You got a pen and paper?
Yes, I do.
Okay, write this number down. 330-259 7278. And you can call that number and hit the option for residential services. You have to wait for a long message, and then you can leave word here. And Rich will call you back and schedule an appointment and come out to you and help you get some of that stuff squared away. So his name is Rich, and he'll be calling from the Youngstown Computer Company.
Okay. And he knows all about all this.
He sure does. Yeah, he specializes in the residential services end, so he's familiar with the Spectrum internet that you're speaking of, all of the equipment that you speaking of. Yeah, he can handle that.
Well, I don't. We canceled the internet since I don't know anything about computers and making calls and so forth. It was one of the first things I did. Well, they say I made a mistake by doing that, but I did it. And so Richard.
Yeah, his name is Rich, and then you can schedule an appointment with him, and then he'll just bring a notebook with him. You can tell him everything that you'd like to happen, whether stuff you want removed and disposed of, stuff you want hooked up and working again. You guys can make a wish list of what you want to happen.
Okay, because I do have music. I have everything.
Okay, yeah. Make sure you give him a call. Leave him a message for Monday, and he'll give you a call back and get something scheduled.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you, Doris. Appreciate it. And I know there are a lot of you out there who are sort of in the same boat with Doris, but it's a scary proposition to start, showing your vulnerabilities with technology and sharing and saying, I need help, and I just don't have anybody to be able to, to help me. And that's where we had a great advantage in Youngstown, is that we opened our services up to residential, and then so we're an honest company that are going to put your interests ahead of ours. And we'll shoot you straight. We'll let you know things that you should do and not do. I mean, I think one of the most surprising things that came from Youngstown Computer, when somebody asks me a question that doesn't necessarily benefit me, if it's the answer, then that's the answer. So if someone said, "Hey, I want to buy a low-cost computer," and I say, "Well, you know what? My computers aren't real low cost, and it's probably not beneficial for you to buy from me. If that's your biggest priority, then here's the best way to handle that." And people are taken aback by it sometimes because they for sure thought that salesman mode was going to come out, and somehow my computer was going to be the option that they should buy. So just all of you that are listening, Rich is a good guy, and he took the reins a couple months ago. Really feeling this stuff out, getting his bearings. But again, he's gotten some really great compliments in these last couple weeks from taking care of people, which that's one thing, anybody who runs that side of the company for me, that I want to make sure that customers are taken care of, because it's not worth doing if you can't do it well and take care of people. So I hope that anybody who has service needs will give Youngstown Computer Residential Services a chance. Talk to Rich, get something scheduled, and let him take care of you. The rates he'll let you know about. Typically, our hourly rate is $125 an hour, and some of the maintenance things can be wrapped up in about an hour. So virus definitions and doing updates and no non-troubleshooting, just maintenance stuff. Other block, I would say about 2 hours to troubleshoot like your printers and have operating system stuff done. So that's ballpark, so you can get an idea of what costs are going to be when you involve that side of the company. So Doris, thanks for the phone call. I appreciate it. And make sure you give Rich a call. Let's go caller. I think this is Dale or Bill. You're on the Youngstown Computer Show. How can I help you? Hello, are you there?
Bill?
Yep. Yeah, go ahead. Yep, it's you.
Okay. Hey, this shot spotter's been out there since about 2010. I don't know if you guys know that or not.
Say that again?
The shot spotter.
Yeah.
For hearing the shot's been out since 2010 for Youngstown.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought they were saying it's only been a couple of years.
I don't remember how long it came in the air. I remember hearing about it, but you don't hear very often about the results of that picking up and being part of that activity. So it's nice to hear that it's still very active.
Oh yeah, I mean I pay attention because I listen to news radio quite a bit. At nighttime, they don't always put it on there about this is how they found it, but. And then one guy said within a meter. It's not within a meter. It's within a kilometer or 1 mile of where the actual shot is.
So now this came in, I guess, when Jay Williams was mayor, I'm assuming?
Yeah. He's before him, actually.
Oh, really? Okay, so it's been around quite a while.
Yeah.
Okay.
2010 was before Jay.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you. I appreciate the information. So we've had a little while here, and Thankfully, it's been a great tool for law enforcement to keep our communities and neighborhoods safe. So thank you. I appreciate that. 330-729-9977. You can also text at 333-1570. And I mentioned before we went off to break that we were going to start having classes a little bit more regularity. In fact, there's a couple of you that have some class credits that you can apply to upcoming classes. We are definitely going to get back into that mode. So thank you for being patient with us as we assemble this and put that schedule back together again. The one problem is that when we hold classes, it requires me being involved, and I'm involved in quite a bit of stuff right now, launching a couple different brands and products, and so it's got to wait for me to have time in my schedule for that to happen. Once we get Rich and some of the other guys that are going to be doing some of the classes that doesn't require me, then we can, hit a weekly schedule, no problem. But for me to break away and do it, it's just been tougher and tougher. Owner of a company or several companies, that's just part of the deal. And I'm not complaining. I really appreciate all of the success that I've been allowed to have, all the great support from, listeners on this station. And just as this last week, I'm blessed with the ability to have this microphone in front of me and are able to do this and have the influences that I can. Answering the question about closed captioning. And I looked up during the last break whether or not there is software that's easily accessible that does the encoding, and it's not an easy thing. Now I know it exists because there's been some television that I've watched, and they were doing closed captioning as it was happening, and there was a lot of not great conversions where some of the words were not perfect, and it misinterpreted a lot of the things. So I know that that's a computer system that's listening into the speech and then taking the speech and putting it into text. So I know it exists, but I don't know. I couldn't find anything super easy that would do that on your behalf. Again, closed captioning is sort of an encoded signal that somebody, when the video was put into its form, the coding for the text was put in there with the video. So if you enable it, then it enables the text that goes along with that. But somebody has to actually either transcribe that and put the text that was going on at the time, or again, like one of these systems that I had a hard time even grabbing a brand name. Like I said, I know they exist, but I don't think it's going to be an easy deal. Now, if you are just looking to have closed captioning turned on a device, most of the devices, smart TVs, and some of the streaming apparatuses, all it's a matter of going into the settings on the device, opening up closed captioning, and if there is anything encoded, it will start displaying on the screen. So it might be just a matter if you're watching some content, there might be actually some closed captioning stuff already there, and you have to go into the device and enable that. So I hope that answers your question. Sorry I couldn't give you something that transcribes it or does it automatically. I just don't know of it, know of any actual titles that do that. So I think by this point, Windows 7, everybody kind of knows. You've gotten the warning messages that it reached end of life, and the conclusion is that if you're still on a Windows 7 machine, it's still you're biding your time until it's going to be just too insecure to use for things like using your credit card and doing transactions over. It's just going to be so easily infected or taken over, or just not going to be working with today's software that you might want to. If it's a 5 years or less computer, you might want to upgrade to Windows 10 versus older than that, and it might be in your best interest to replace the machine. But here's an interesting, not on that same vein. I got Apple started their own credit card, and I watched it pop up on my iPhone. They were really pushing it hard on adding this Apple Pay and then their own Apple credit card on there. And so I finally binged on it and hit apply, and I got this credit card. And it's the first credit card that I've ever had that doesn't actually have any numbers on it. And so you pair it with your phone like you would a Bluetooth device, and it actually is bound to a credit card number, but it's invisible to you. It's protected by the technology that when you go to use it, like you can swipe it and you can check out and buy stuff, but you can't read a credit card number to anybody. So I thought that was interesting. It sort of goes down the vein of, analog is terrible and digital is awesome. Well, this is a step of combining what is analog and a credit card number with digital, which is you need digital products to be able to buy something with it. All right, 330-729-9977, or you can text me at 333-1570. We've got a couple little segments, Ghost. So if you want to join me, give me a call. You're listening to the Youngstown Computer Show on 570 WKBN. I'll be back.
Setting the table.
We're going to set the table.
At the top and 30 minutes past the hour.
Facts and all the information.
Fill your plates with what you want.
An earful of information.
And what you need.
Come to the table.
On 570 WKBN.
Message and data rates may apply.
Earning your degree from one of the top business schools in the country might sound impossible to fit into your workload. But what if there were a business degree that advanced your career skills and gave you access to world-renowned faculty, leaders, and mentors all on your schedule? One that opened doors to some of the most influential CEOs, tech companies, law firms, entrepreneurs, and thought leaders. And what if you could earn that degree in as little as 16 months, 100% online? Find out more. Text RESULT to 79645. Start on the path to earning your MBA or Business Analytics Master's degree online from the W.P. Carey School of Business at Arizona State University today. Learn more about the graduate programs from the top-ranked W.P. Carey School of Business at Arizona State University, offered 100% online. Text RESULT to 79645. That's RESULT to 79645.
A best-in-class approach. That is what sets Refresh Dental apart. Best-in-class means we have the talent, expertise, and also the compassion needed to deliver the care everyone deserves. Refresh Dental, changing the dental experience, one patient at a time. Visit GoRefreshDental.com to learn more.
Folks who suffer from arthritis, back pain, knee pain, bursitis, or fibromyalgia, learn about targeted pain relief in just 15 minutes. Listen to Discoveries in Health this Sunday morning at 8:30, right here on News Radio 570 WKBN.
Guys, are you ready to lose belly fat? Then listen to what Andro 400 did for Chris.
I'm Chris Walls, and I'm a truck driver from Missouri. And since taking Andro 400, I have dropped 45 pounds.
Since 2004, Andro 400 has helped men like Chris lose belly fat, gain energy, and boost romantic desire and performance. So, to lose belly fat, gain energy, and be ready anytime, any place for those spontaneous romantic moments, the choice is clear. Andro 400. Safe, natural, and most effective. Andro 400 will help you lose belly fat and put the desire and passion back into your romance. We guarantee it. Start today. Call 888-400-0435. That's 888-400-0435. Or go to andro400.com right now and get free shipping on any order. andro400.com. That's andro400.com.
All right, welcome back, everybody. This is the Youngstown Computer Show. I'm Joe Danier, hosting here and owner of Youngstown Computer. This Youngstown company that does computer services in our area, both residential and commercial. Let me tell you a little bit about that between the two. We started out in 2008, and we've been doing it for way over a decade now. And primarily what we keyed in on is the part of the company that I run is the commercial services, where if you don't have internal IT, you don't have a dedicated person that does your IT, you can basically outsource the services to Youngstown Computer. And so we'll manage your network. We'll kind of evaluate things. We basically key on what you're sensitive to, and then the stuff that you know that you don't know, we can fill in those voids. And so we can kind of tailor what you want us to pay attention to, what you want us to have on your behalf, whether or not we're guided by the budget that you have for the technology side, or what your fears are, or what you want to be protected from, or what your insurance policy says that you should do. We'll manage it at your direction. You're the boss. And so we've been doing that for over a decade now. Love our customer base, very loyal group. I've seen us through thick and thin. It's amazing, just like family. And then residential services, we took a little hiatus from doing residential service because of staffing shortages, but we've got some people working bench services now. And again, it's been a growing up thing where we had 4 people dedicated to residential services before. Then we went down to 0, and now we have 2 people that are doing it. Now, it's not right back. It's not back up to where it was before, where we don't have someone stationed at the phone answering every call as they come in. There's just some periods that you're going to have to leave messages and wait for return phone calls on the residential side. And so what we opened up for is that you can schedule your own appointment. So there's 2 types of appointments you can schedule. A maintenance appointment where you just haven't seen somebody in a while and you need just a little cleanup and make it run faster and do your updates. And, maybe twice a year you involve us and we come out and spend an hour with you and answer some simple questions if we have. So that's a maintenance schedule. You can go to youngstowncomputer.com, click on book appointment, find the maintenance one, and then check out, schedule, pick your own time, and then we just kind of show up. Second one is actually the troubleshooting, where this is going to be an actual service call where something's broken or something's wrong. And so you're going to schedule a 2-hour block with us. Sometimes we just do it all on site. Sometimes we come out, pick it up, take it back to our office, work on it, and bring it back and deliver it. Either way, we make sure that we meet up with you and you're in command. You tell us what needs to be done. But the nice part, like I said, you can schedule an appointment. That helps us out too, because we don't have to dedicate people time into phones, because that is the most colossal waste of time. Is the answering and the phones. If you already know that you need us, go right to the website, schedule an appointment, and it makes stuff so much easier on all of us. And I know we all want to explain and tell the story of how it went down and whatever, but I assure you that the same 20 services happen over and over and over again. You really can't catch us off guard. You don't have to be embarrassed. You don't have to be scared. That's what we do. You just tell us the basic. It was running fast and now it's not. It was making noise or it's not. The printer doesn't work, or the internet doesn't work, or my email doesn't work, or whatever's not working. Just give us the general summary and we will jump on it, find out why. And biggest part is that we don't like the rabbit hole, right? So we don't like when it's one thing or it's 9 things or it's 100 things, and then you end up spending way more money to repair it than if it would have just been, easier to buy a new computer or to reload it. So we take that in consideration, that we're sort of an advocate for you. We're on your side here. And so we will, when it looks like it doesn't make sense to do this, we're going to, try the cheapest route possible. And then we're not going to go to the nuclear option where everybody could just replace, something wrong with your computer, replace it. It fixes it every time. Or something's wrong with your computer, reload it. It fixes it every time. We're not going to go that option first because that's usually the most expensive version of it, or you end up having to start over and invest a bunch of time. So anyway, long story short, if you need residential services, we got 2 guys that are capable of getting on it. Go to youngstowncomputer.com, schedule your own appointment, and then they will just show up. Or if you need those commercial services, I'm the guy in command on the commercial side. We have 4 people stationed on the commercial services. So if you have a small business and you need help with the network, we will definitely do that. We carry our own line of computer systems, something that we can support extremely well. $980 is our normal i5 or AMD comparable workstation, and they are meant to be consistent. I don't like putting something in the field and having to go fetch it and do repairs on something. So I build something that is reliable so that you and your business don't have to see me any more often than you absolutely need to. So 330-259-7278 is that phone number if you want to get something scheduled with us. That's the number, 330-259-7278. All right, we're going to take this break. We got another quick segment before we go off to sports. You're listening to the Youngstown Computer Show on 570 WKBN. I'll be back.
Message and data rates may apply.
Earning your degree from one of the top business schools in the country might sound impossible to fit into your workload. But what if there were a business degree that advanced your career skills and gave you access to world-renowned faculty, leaders, and mentors all on your schedule? One that opened doors to some of the most influential CEOs, tech companies, law firms, entrepreneurs, and thought leaders. And what if you could earn that degree in as little as 16 months, 100% online? Find out more. Text RESULT to 79645. Start on the path to earning your MBA or Business Analytics Master's degree online from the W.P. Carey School of Business at Arizona State University today. Learn more about the graduate programs from the top-ranked W.P. Carey School of Business at Arizona State University, offered 100% online. Text RESULT to 79645. That's RESULT to 79645.
Here's some of the stories we're following today. The city of Youngstown is looking at new ways to collect unpaid parking fees over $100 from tax returns. Firefighters in Youngstown responded to a fire at the utility contracting company last night on South Meridian Road. A Braceville Township man pleaded not guilty to charges including aggravated murder. A warrant man's been convicted by a Trumbull County jury of 9 felony charges from a May 2018 raid at a Hamilton Street Southwest home. And a petition that seeks to void Salem City Council's recent decision to replace the city income tax collection office with RETA has enough signatures. From the Power Chevrolet Buick GMC of Calcutta, Ohio newsroom, I'm Dave Price.
Our next update at 3 from the O'Charley's Digital Studios. $9.99 menu, 9 great meals, 1 great price. O'Charley's.
Prescription products require an online physician consultation and are only available if the physician determines a prescription is appropriate. Subscription required. See website for full details and important safety information.
Hey guys, good news. The outrageously expensive little blue pill is now generic, which means you can get the prescription medication to treat ED at affordable prices. And Hims makes it extra affordable. You pay just $30 for a month's supply. And right now, get your first online doctor's visit totally free when you go to forhims.com/joy. That's right, free, 0 copay, no expensive appointments, no awkward face-to-face conversations to get your prescription. Hims connects you to doctors online who can evaluate you and, if appropriate, prescribe your ED medication. And a pharmacy sends it right to your door. Hims makes it affordable, private, and incredibly easy. Nobody likes dealing with ED. Now, thanks to Hims, nobody has to. And that's really good news. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, forhims.com/joy. That's forhims.com/joy for your free online visit. forhims.com/joy.
All right, welcome back, everybody. This is the Youngstown Computer Show. I'm Joe Danier, owner of Youngstown Computer, and this is your Saturday show where we talk about things that are happening in the tech world. Did the whole litany of what to do about Windows 7 upgrades versus replacements, and going to do a bunch of classes coming up, the residential services springing back to life. I really do appreciate it. I'm telling you that the residential services have been really close to my heart since the very beginning of this. I love helping you guys out, and I'm so glad that we're able to get services back again. I know you've been super patient and super accommodating as we feel our way through this. I really do appreciate that. As I this morning, I thought we were going to get a SpaceX launch, the Starlink satellites. And let me give you the little block of information on this. Starlink is basically a bunch of these mini satellites that are going to be placed in the lower atmosphere in really low Earth orbits. And there's going to be like tens of thousands of them that are going to be crisscrossing the globe. And what this does is they're going to extend internet to any place that they fly over. So you could be in the most remote parts of the world, in the middle of the ocean, and there's going to be parts of a network that are going to be accessible internet-wise. And so they've only done, I would say they're doing in blocks of 60. So every time they do one of these launches, they're putting 60 more satellites in there. So the coverage is not there yet, very slim. But again, they're doing every 2 weeks, they're putting another block of 60 up there. So eventually it's going to be quite good, and the coverage is going to be quite significant. So what we have to look forward to is, yesterday someone was complaining about their satellite TV going out. The dish reception wasn't working well because dish reception, you got one satellite that you have to aim at, and it stays pretty static. And if you get anything that comes in heavy atmosphere or precipitation or whatever, it can get in the way of receiving those signals down from those satellites. And so eventually we might have so many of these SpaceLink or Starlink satellites that you might be able to get most of your broadband on this bandwidth. We're still going to have cellular. These cell towers are very plentiful, and they do pretty good job. But this is an alternative where most of you who can't get broadband connections, this opens up some extra options to you. So we might come to a place where satellite TV can be replaced by streaming services that offered over something like the Starlink broadband. I'm going to be one of those early adopters at the first chance that they give me to be a subscriber. It's probably going to be pricier than it needs to be, but I'm going to dive in just so that I can give adequate reviews of it, and I could be part of the advancement. I mean, all of those early adopters, you end up paying more for it. But without those early adopters, then the technologies don't come to fruition. Like the first flat screen TVs were $10,000. And now that same flat screen, you can get twice the size, better picture quality for $200. So it's just amazing how quickly that technology curve, flattens when you get people that jump on, and then the producers take over, and then the manufacturing gets a foothold. But without early, the late ones would have never come along. So I'm very excited about that. I mean, we got a couple of doctors in our area that have made their living here, and they give back to the community. The story is that they go over to remote villages in foreign countries, third world countries, and they set up things that you and I take for granted, like wells and communication and roads and schools and very crude healthcare or health services. And these villages aren't even close to having technology. But what if they did? What if you had a village that could go from agriculture, like really rough agriculture, to right away getting in communication with the rest of the world and the worldwide marketplace and importing and exporting. I mean, that connection can that connection there wasn't any kind of utility that was going to run a fiber optic connection out to a remote rainforest village, right? And so this opens up options where it took a lot of resources and a lot of altruistic people to do. Now some of those technologies are going to reach them just because of this advancement. So that's why I'm so excited about it. But what this means for us is that we're streaming services were okay for a little while. You bought some content from one and then you couldn't get some from the other. They're starting to be more consistent, where I think I had 4 streaming services for a while to get everything I needed to get, which still wasn't as expensive as getting it from the cable companies, but still 3 different services you had to switch in and out of. Now I'm down to 2. I have YouTube TV for most of my local and network feeds. And then I have Netflix for everything else, because they're just their own proprietary content creator in itself. And I don't think they'll ever release their stuff. They have some pretty good stuff. But they spent a ton of money on the buying scripts and hiring actors and creating this stuff in their own studios, which made them a pretty big powerhouse. And I can remember going back in the day when it was just all DVDs that you would email out. Like, that company became a company that, through streaming, the ability to have its own production and its own studios and its own huge budget of creating stuff. So that's interesting with Starlink. So if you're going to be around tomorrow around 10:30, you can check in on SpaceX's website. They live broadcast those takeoffs. The most impressive part of this whole thing is that these rocket boosters that take this stuff up, they land themselves. And so the boosters go up and they take them up through our atmosphere. And then when they break off, they leave enough gas in the tank to steer themselves down to a landing pad, and they're reusable. So they land themselves. It's amazing to watch. They also have started the effort of catching some of the other metals that would otherwise splash in the ocean to reuse those parts as well. So lots of stuff happening in the space world. So everybody out there, thank you so much for joining me and supporting the show all this week. Appreciate that. And again, if you want to call Youngstown Computer, 330-259-7278. If you want to call them live, they do answer the phone from 9 o'clock to 11 o'clock in the morning, Monday through Friday. If you want to leave them a message today, call the main number, 330-259-7278. Thanks a lot, everybody. Have a great rest of your weekend.